Keanu Reeves finds his maid's daughter working at 3 a.m., then learns why she quit school. The night was unusually quiet in the hills of Los Angeles. The kind of quiet that only comes after midnight, when the city finally exhales. Keanu Reeves pulled his black SUV into the long driveway of his home just after 3 a.m. He had spent the last 16 hours on set, repeating the same intense scene over and over until the director was satisfied. His body ached. His mind was tired. All he wanted was a glass of water and sleep. He stepped out of the car, closed the door softly, and was about to walk toward the front entrance when something caught his eye. Across the street, under the weak yellow light of a street lamp near a 24-hour gas station, a thin figure was moving. A teenage girl. She was bent over a pile of discarded plastic bags and cardboard boxes, carefully sorting and cleaning them. Her movements were slow, almost mechanical, as if her body was running on the last drop of energy. Keanu froze. He knew that silhouette. It was Sofia Martinez, the 16-year-old daughter of his longtime housekeeper, Rosa. For a moment he simply stood there, watching. Then he walked toward her. Sofia didn't notice him at first. She was too focused on wiping dirt from a plastic bag with a small rag. When she finally looked up and saw the tall figure approaching, her eyes widened in pure panic. She quickly tried to hide the bags behind her legs. "Mr. Reeves," her voice cracked. I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone would see me." Keanu stopped a few feet away. His voice was calm, but there was concern in it. "Sofia, what are you doing out here at 3 a.m? She looked down at the ground. Her hands were red from the cold, covered in small cuts from the rough plastic edges. She was wearing a thin hoodie that was far too light for the night air. "I was just collecting some things," she mumbled. "It's nothing. Please don't tell my mom." Keanu didn't move. He studied her face carefully. The dark circles under her eyes. The way her shoulders were slumped. The exhaustion that no 16-year-old should carry. "Sofia," he said gently, "look at me." She reluctantly raised her eyes. "You should be home sleeping. You have school tomorrow, don't you?" There was a long silence. Then Sofia's lower lip began to tremble. "I don't go to school anymore." The words hit Keanu harder than he expected. He blinked, as if he hadn't heard correctly. "What do you mean you don't go to school anymore?" Sofia swallowed hard. Tears were already forming in her eyes, but she forced herself to speak. "I quit 3 months ago." Keanu's expression changed. The usual calm in his face was replaced by something deeper, a quiet, serious concern. "Why?" Sofia looked away toward the empty street. For a few seconds she didn't answer. Then the words began to spill out, slowly at first, then faster, as if she had been holding them in for far too long. "My mom is sick. Really sick. She has cancer. Stage 2. The doctors found it last year. The treatments are expensive. The medicines alone cost more than she makes in a month. My dad left when I was 7. He never came back. It's just been me and her. She's been working in your house for 11 years, Mr. Reeves. She never complained. Even when she was in pain, she still came to work every day. But the bills kept growing. I saw her crying at night when she thought I was asleep. I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. She wiped her face with the back of her hand. So I stopped going to school. I started taking cleaning jobs during the day. At night I come here and collect plastic and cardboard to sell. It's not much, but it helps a little. Every dollar goes to her medicine." Keanu stood completely still. The only sound was the distant hum of the city and Sofia's quiet sniffles. He took off his jacket and gently placed it over her shoulders. Then he spoke in a low, steady voice. "Come with me." "Mr. Reeves, I can't." "My mom will." "Sofia, come with me. Right now." Something in his tone left no room for argument. Sofia hesitated for only a second, then followed him to the car. When they arrived at the house, the lights in the staff wing were still off. Rosa was asleep in her small room at the back of the property. Keanu quietly opened the door and turned on the soft lamp. Rosa stirred, then sat up quickly when she saw her employer standing there with her daughter. "Mr. Reeves? Is everything all right?" "Sofia, what are you doing awake?" Then Rosa saw her daughter's hands. The cuts, the dirt, the exhaustion written all over her face. And she understood. "No," Rosa's voice broke. "Sofia, please tell me you didn't." Sofia ran to her mother and wrapped her arms around her. Both of them began to cry. Rosa kept repeating the same words through her tears. "I told you not to leave school. I told you I would manage. Why didn't you listen to me?" Keanu stood in the doorway, watching the two of them. He didn't interrupt. He simply waited until the first wave of emotion settled. Then he spoke. "Rosa, I need you to listen to me carefully." Rosa looked up, her face wet with tears. "Your daughter was out on the street at 3 a.m. trying to earn money for your treatment. She quit school because she loves you. That ends tonight." He pulled out his phone and made 2 calls, even though it was the middle of the night. The first was to his personal assistant. The second was to a private number at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. By morning, everything had already begun to change. Rosa was taken to the hospital for a full evaluation with one of the top oncologists in the city. Keanu personally sat in the waiting room while the doctors reviewed her files. When the results came back, the news was serious but not hopeless. With the right treatment plan, there was a strong chance of recovery. The only problem had been the cost. That problem no longer existed. Keanu instructed the hospital that every bill related to Rosa Martinez was to be sent directly to him. When Rosa tried to protest, he simply shook his head. "You've taken care of my home for 11 years. Now let me take care of this." Meanwhile, Keanu made another call, this time to Sophia's high school. He spoke directly with the principal. Within an hour, arrangements were made for Sophia to return. All outstanding fees were cleared. A new set of books, a laptop, and uniforms were ordered. Keanu also arranged a part-time position for Sophia at his production office, only 3 hours a day after school, so she could earn money with dignity without sacrificing her education. 2 weeks later, Sophia walked through the school gates again, wearing a clean uniform. Several of her former classmates stared in surprise. One of them asked where she had been. Sophia only smiled and said, "I had some family things to take care of. I'm back now." The following months were not easy, but they were filled with quiet progress. Rosa's treatment began in full. There were difficult days when the side effects left her weak and exhausted. On those days, Sophia would sit beside her hospital bed after school and do her homework while holding her mother's hand. Sometimes Keanu would stop by unannounced, never staying long, never making a scene. He would simply ask how they were doing, leave a few words of encouragement, and leave. Sophia returned to her studies with a determination that surprised even her teachers. The months she had spent working instead of learning had left gaps in her knowledge, but she stayed late after class, asked questions, and refused to fall behind. By the end of the semester, she had climbed back into the top of her class. One afternoon, nearly 4 months after that night at the gas station, Rosa was discharged from the hospital. The cancer was in remission. The doctors were optimistic. When she stepped outside into the sunlight for the first time in weeks, Sophia was waiting for her with a small handmade card. That same evening, Sophia asked if she could visit Keanu at his office. She stood in front of his desk, nervous but steady, and handed him the card. Inside, written in careful handwriting, were only a few lines. "Thank you for seeing me that night. Thank you for giving my mother her life back. Thank you for giving me my future back. I will never quit again. I promise I will make you proud." Keanu read the words slowly. When he finished, he looked up at Sophia and gave her one of his rare, genuine smiles. "You already have," he said quietly. "Just keep going to school. That's enough." Years later, people who worked in Keanu's circle would sometimes tell the story of that night. They said it was one of the many quiet things he did that never made the headlines. No cameras. No public statements. Just a man who happened to come home late and noticed a girl who should have been sleeping instead of working on the street. Sophia eventually graduated at the top of her class. She went on to college with a full scholarship. Rosa continued working in the Reeves household, but now she worked with strength and health. And every year on the anniversary of that night, a small envelope would arrive at the house with no return address. Only a simple note inside that always said the same thing. Still keeping the promise. Some people spend their lives waiting for someone to notice their struggle. On one quiet night in Los Angeles, a tired actor noticed. And everything changed.